And we are back. Welcome to old Aperture. I should have had something to look at. A land where dreams become reality. All started with shower rods and asbestos buildings. If I had something, I probably would get interrupted again anyway. But then again, Wheatley is way up there, and Gladys is in the claws of a bird. So there's no one to interrupt me. So,
gentlemen, to Aperture Science. Astronauts, war heroes, Olympians, you're here because we want the best. And you are it. So, who's ready to make some science?
I am.
Now, you already met one another on the limo ride over, so let me introduce myself. I'm Cave Johnson. I own the place. That eager voice you heard is the lovely Carolyn, my assistant. Rest assured, she has transferred your honorarium to the charitable organization of your choice. Is that right, Carolyn? There's 1,000 tests performed
I make it
every
look
day
easy.
here in our enrichment spheres. I can't personally oversee every one of them, so these pre-recorded messages will cover any questions you might have and respond to any incidents that may occur in the course of your science adventure. Your test assignment will vary depending on the manner in which you have bent the world to your will. Those of you helping us test the repulsion gel today, just follow the blue line on the floor. Those of you who volunteered to be injected with praying mantis DNA, I've got some good news and some bad news. Bad news is we're postponing those tests indefinitely. Good news is we've got a much better test for you, fighting an army of mantis men. Pick up a rifle and follow the yellow line. You'll know when the test starts.
now you're supposed to go over there and push X on those 3 doors to get a little bit of an Easter egg. Do it on all 6 doors. The other 3 are later, I'll show you them. And then you'll get an achievement, which I've already gotten, because I didn't realize that the recordings were going to go so poorly. Whee! Boom! Almost didn't quite make it there. But it is interesting that they have someone for you to talk to, even if it is just a recording. Open! And like, you would think at some point of the game you would lose the portal gun. Like, say for instance, if you had to
Great science is built
if you had to swim.
At Aperture, we do all our science from scratch. No hand-holding.
Because the water is only lethal to you if you have the portal gun. Note, in both games, before you get the portal gun, you do not encounter any water. At least not any that's lethal to you. Once you have it, however, you cannot go in the water. Just a note. Come on. Open. 1 of 9.
All right, let's get started. This first test involves something the lab boys call repulsion gel. You're not part of the control group, by the way. You get the gel. Last poor son of a gun got blue paint. All joking aside, that did happen. Broke every bone in his legs. Tragic, but informative. Or so I'm told.
Slightly less non-toxic form of fiberglass insulation. For various reasons, this product was pulled off the shelves. Believe it or not. Darn it. Fine, I'll do it your way, Cube. First time I was doing these Let's Plays, I was able to just grab it and keep on going. It was awesome.
The lab boys just informed me that I should not have mentioned the control group. They're telling me I ought to stop making these pre-recorded messages. That gave me make more pre-recorded messages. I pay the bills here, I can talk about the control group all damn day.
And if you go this way, right around the corner, you'll see an office. I do not know what the offices are for. I think that they are just there as like flavor or whatever, so on to the next test chamber, I suppose.
This next test, we put nanoparticles in the gel. In layman's terms, that's a billion little gizmos that are going to travel into your bloodstream and pump experimental genes and RNA molecules and so forth into your tumors. Now, maybe you don't have any tumors.
Darn it, darn it.
Well, don't worry. If you sat on a folding chair in the lobby and weren't wearing leather pants, we took care of that too.
There we go. There's something weird, like I had to jump or something to get in there. Very strange. There we go. Although I am kind of wondering if it would be possible to beat this game only going through the orange portals if you had fast enough reflexes. Because the way I see it, it might actually be possible. Okay. Into here. And there we go. Good, good.
Oh, in case you got covered in that repulsion gel, here's some advice the lab boys gave me. Do not get covered in the repulsion gel. We haven't entirely nailed down what element it is yet, but I'll tell you this, it's a lively one, and it does not like the human skeleton.
That's a very relaxing thing to hear, Cave Johnson. Cave Johnson of the Johnson clan. Oh yeah, don't get covered in this stuff, because it will dissolve you or something. And they used to use it for pudding.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way. Keeps out the rats. Let us know if you feel a shortness of breath, a persistent dry cough, or your heart stopping, because that's not part of the test. That's asbestos. Good news is the lab boys say the symptoms of asbestos poisoning show a median latency of 44.6 years. So if you're 30 or older, you're laughing. Worst case scenario, you miss out on a few rounds of canasta. Plus, you forwarded the cause of science by 3 centuries. I punch those numbers into my calculator, it makes a happen.
Cave Johnson. What are we going to do with you? Isn't there a song or something? I feel like there should be.
Your style. You make up your own rules, just like me. Bean counter said I couldn't fire a man just for being in a wheelchair. Did it anyway. Ramps are expensive.
And this here part takes a few minutes, but then again, the whole game takes a few hours. Covered in the blue goop. The ocean gel. Come on. Trying to shoot a portal while inside one of those disintegration thingies. Whee! And oddly enough, it does not get rid of the gel.
Heads up, that coffee we gave you earlier had fluorescent calcium in it, so we can track the neuronal activity in your brain. There's a slight chance the calcium could harden and vitrify your frontal lobe. Anyway, don't stress yourself thinking about it. I'm serious. Visualizing the scenario while under stress actually triggers the reaction.
Cave Johnson. So yes, I like how it shows the past and this and stuff.
Now, if you're part of control group Kepler-7, we implanted a tiny microchip about the size of a postcard into your skull. Most likely you've forgotten it's even there. But if it starts vibrating and beeping during this next test, let us know. Because that means it's about to hit 500 degrees, so we're going to need to go ahead and get that out of you pretty fast.
So, when I have a minute to talk, I can tell you guys.
I'm telling them, keep your pants on. All right, this next test may involve trace amounts of time travel. So, word of advice, if you meet yourself on the testing track, don't make eye contact. Lab boys tell me that'll wipe out time. Entirely. Forward and backward. So, do both of yourselves a favor and just let that handsome devil go about his business.
So, I remember quite a while back talking with someone about a possibility for a sequel to Portal 2, Portal 3. This one gave me so much trouble the first time, but now I can just do it with ease. So, yeah, Portal 3, which is basically go on like a what... Well, I don't want to spoil it, but basically keep on doing missions and stuff. And, like, what kind of a story would Portal 3 have, anyway? So we went and tried to figure that out, of what kind of a story that Portal 3 could give us. And we had actually found some stuff of what we could get from that, but not really much anything that would necessarily fit too well. So we had, I had another idea. Portal 0, with the O and the 0 would both be portals.
It means you're taking a long time on the catwalks between tests. The
Ooh.
lab boys say that might be a fear reaction. I'm no psychiatrist, but coming from a bunch of eggheads who wouldn't recognize the thrill of danger if it walked up and snapped their little pink bras, that sounds like projection. They didn't fly into space, storm a beach, or bring back the gold. No, sir, we did. You and me against the world, son. I like your grit. Also could use some work, though. Now let's solve this thing.
Darn it. Trying to figure out how to do this. Ta-da! Schrodinger's catch. Oh.
Science isn't about why, it's about why not. Why is so much of our science dangerous? Why not marry safe science if you love it so much? In fact, why not invent a special safety door that won't hit you on the butt on the way out, because you are fired. Now you, test subject, you're doing fine. Yes, you. Box, you're stopped. Out the front door. Parking lot. Car. Goodbye.
So basically it would show the beginning of Aperture Science, basically Cave Johnson, and it would go through the backstory of it all, from when it begins to when it effectively ends. By effectively ends, I mean when the 10,000 test subjects die. Well, 9,999 other humans die, kind of a thing.
Congratulations. The simple fact that you're standing here listening to me means you've made a glorious contribution to science. As founder and CEO of Aperture Science, I thank you for your participation and hope we can count on you for another round of tests. We're not going to release this stuff in a while.
And also to show basically of if, like, was Cave Johnson actually put into one of the robots? And also, hopefully they can actually go through that whole factor that Caroline did not want to be she did not want to be in the computer. They had lines for that in this one, but they didn't. But only one of them actually filmed it, recorded it. The other one didn't because it sounded a little bit too, I'll just use the term bad. Trying to force Caroline to do something that she really did not want to do, kind of a thing. But maybe they can go through it a little bit better back then, and now this whole huge spot. Let's see what happens next time.